Friends, you can't be too grateful for your dearest friends. A few hands of a whole, two bodies, one soul, two sweet Veronas rushing to grow. Oh, one's gotta leave, gonna see the world like what he's meant to be. Gonna grow into a manly prodigy. Gonna try to run before no more cuts deep. Oh, oh, oh. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. Friends, you take the line and make time for friends. They help us grow and strength is all I sense. We know that they'll stay faithful to the end. One's gotta stay to explore the land of love's uncertain sway. Gonna follow you or harm you where it might. They're sad to part, won't bar each other's way. Oh, 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 oh. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. Friends have got your back, but they're never gonna let you slide. No, friends.
Love on fire. I kind of hate you. You make me foolish as a child. Can't underrate you. I've never felt so free and wild.
You've become my world, my heart unfurled.
Hold me, keep me safe now that you have set my love on fire, or I'll self-immolate, for no sea could quench my love on fire.
Hold me, keep me safe now that you have set my love on fire, or I'll self-immolate, for no sea could quench my love on fire.
my love on fire. Hold me, keep me safe, know that you have set my love on fire. Or I'll self-immolate, for no sea could quench my love on fire. I would go to the ends of the earth for you, but I'll stay right here to see this through. I would ask God to make you roses by hand. My love, your wish is my command. Hold me, keep me safe, now that you have set my love on fire. Or I'll self-immolate, for no sea could quench my love on fire. Hold me, keep me safe, now that you have set my love on fire. Or I'll self-immolate, for no sea could quench my love on fire. Hold me, keep me safe, now that you have set my love on fire. Or I'll self-immolate, for no sea could quench my love on fire. Hold me, keep me safe, now that you have set my love on fire. Or I'll self-immolate, for no sea could quench my love on fire. I come to find that my peace of mind is now realigned to that which in places childhood has left, adulthood has heft. You'll find we are deft with our own divine.
I've got hearts to win. I've got dreams to spin. I've just gotta find where to begin to follow this call from within.
There's a thrill down every pathway, feats of skill to put on display. We'll be filled if we take the fast way, not waste time. Family and friends on whom life depends, you know what attends a youth with ambition.
Shock and dismay when plans go astray, struggling to pay the price of admission. I've got hearts to break, I've got dreams to remake. I'm just finding the shortcuts to take, leaving the dust in my wake. There's a thrill to taking our chances. Drink your fill from the chalice of life. Some will spill as the future advances. Don't waste time.
Clap along at home.
We're not afraid. We're not afraid. We're not afraid. We're not afraid of life. Of life. Of life. Of life. There's a thrill to taking our chances. Drink your fill from the chalice of life. Some will spill as future advances. Don't waste time.
Cease to persuade, my loving Proteus. Home-keeping youth have ever homely wits. Turn not affection came thy tender days to the sweet glances of thy honored love. I rather would entreat thy company to see the wonders of the world abroad than living dully, sluggardized at home. Wear out thy youth with shapeless idleness. But since thou lovest, love still and thrive therein, even as I would when I to love began.
Wilt thou be gone, sweet Valentine? Adieu. Think on thy Proteus when thou haply seest some rare, noteworthy object in thy travel, Wish me partaker in thy happiness. When thou dost meet good happen, in thy danger, if ever danger do environ thee, commend thy grievance to my holy prayers, for I will be thy beadsman, Valentine.
And then a love book pray for my success?
The constant book I love, I'll pray for thee.
That's on some shallow story of deep love, how young Leander crossed the Hellespont.
That's a deep story of a deeper love, where he was more than over shoes in love.
'Tis true, for you over boots in love, and yet you never swam the Hellespont.
Over the boots, nay, give me not the boots.
No, I will not, for it boots thee not.
What?
To be in love, where scorn is bought with groans, coy looks with heart-sore sighs, when fading moments mirth, with 20 watchful, weary, tedious nights. If haply won, perhaps a hapless gain. If lost, why then a grievous labor won. However, but if folly bought with wit, or else a wit by folly vanquished.
So by your circumstance you call me fool?
So by your circumstance I fear you'll prove.
'Tis love you cavil at, I am not love.
Love is your master, for he masters you. And he that is so yoked by a fool, methinks, should not be chronicled for wise. But wherefore waste I time to counsel thee, that art a votary to fond desire? Once more adieu. My father at the road expects my coming, there to see me shipped.
And thither will I bring thee, Valentine.
Sweet Proteus, no. To Milan let me hear from thee by letters of thy success in love, and what news else betideth here in absence of thy friend. And I likewise will visit thee with mine.
All happiness bechance to thee in Milan.
As much to you at home, and so farewell.
He after honor hunts, I after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I leave myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosed me, made me neglect my studies, lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing, weak heart sick with thought.
Sir Proteus, save you, saw you, my master.
But now we parted hence to embark for Milan.
21 that he shipped already, and I played the sheep in losing him.
Indeed, a sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
You conclude that my master is a shepherd then, and I a sheep?
I do.
Nay, that I can deny by a circumstance.
It shall go hard, but I'll prove it by another.
The shepherd seeks the sheep, and not the sheep the shepherd. Yet I seek my master seeks not me. Therefore, I am no sheep.
The sheep for fodder follow the shepherd for food follows not the sheep. Thou for wages followest thy master for wages follows not thee. Therefore, thou art a sheep.
Such another proof will make me cry, bah!
Dost thou hear? Givest thou my letter to Julia?
I, sir, I, a lostman, gave a letter to her, a laceman, and she, a laceman, gave me, a lostman, nothing for my labor.
Here's to a small pasture for such a store of muttons.
If the ground be overcharged, you were best stick her.
Nay, in that you are astray, 'twere best pound you.
Less than a pound shall serve me for carrying her letter.
Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
Yet it cannot seem to overtake your slow purse.
Come, open the matter in brief. What said she?
Open your purse, that the money and the manner may be both at once delivered.
Well, sir, here's for your pains. What said she?
Truly, sir, thee go hardly win her.
Why? Couldst thou perceive so much from her?
Sir, I could perceive nothing at all from her. No, not so much as a ducat for delivering your letter. And being so hard to me that brought your mind, I fear she'll prove just as hard to you in telling your mind. Give her no token but stones, for she is as hard as steel.
What said she? Nothing?
No, not so much as take this for thy pains, to testify your bounty. I thank you. You have tested me, and were quite aware of. Henceforth, carry your letters yourself. And so, sir, I'll commend you to my master.
Go, be gone to save your ship from wrack, which cannot perish having thee aboard, being destined to a drier death on shore. I must go send some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not deign my lines, receiving them from such a worthless post.
But say, Lucetta, now we are alone. Wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Ay, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with parle encounter me, in thy opinion, which is the worthiest love?
Please you repeat their names, madam. I'll show my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkest thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
As of a knight, well spoken, neat, and fine, but were I you, he should never be mine.
Well, what thinkest thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well of his wealth, but of himself so.
What thinkest thou of, the gentle Proteus?
Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
Oh, now. What means this passion at his name?
Pardon, madam, 'tis a parting shame, that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus unlovely gentlemen.
Well, why not on Proteus, as of all the rest?
Then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Your reason?
I have none other but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And you would have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
Yet he of all the rest I think best loves you.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
The fire that is closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
Oh, they love least that let men know their love.
I would I knew his mind.
Peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia. Say from whom?
That the contents will show.
Say who gave it thee.
Sir Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by modesty of a goodly broker, dare you presume to harbor wanton lines, to whisper and conspire against my youth? Now trust me, 'tis an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place. There, take the paper, see it be returned, or else return no more into my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate,
Will you be gone?
that you may ruminate.
And yet I would I had o'erlooked the letter. Oh, it were a shame to call her back and pray her to a fault for which I chid her. What a fool is she that knows I am a maid and would not force the letter to my view, since maids in modesty say no to that which they would have the profferer construe aye. Fie, how wayward is this foolish love, that like a testy babe will scratch the nurse, and presently, all humbled, kiss the rod. How churlishly I chid Lucetta hence, when willingly I would have had her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown, when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance is to call Lucetta back and beg remission for my folly past. Ugh. What ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
Is't near dinner time?
I would it were that you might kill your stomach on your meat, and not upon your maid.
What hast you took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To take up a paper that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Madam, it will not lie where it concerns, unless it have a false interpreter.
Some love of yours hath writ to you in rhyme.
Aye, madam, that I might sing it to a tune. Give me a note. Your ladyship can set.
As little by such toys as may be possible. Best sing it to the tune of Light o' Love.
It is too heavy for so light a tune.
Heavy. Like it hath some burden then.
Aye, and melodious were it, would you sing it?
Why not you?
I cannot reach so high.
Let's see your song. How now, minion?
Keep tune there still, so you will sing it out. And yet, methinks I do not like this tune.
You do not?
Nay, it is too sharp.
You, minion, are too saucy.
Nay, now you are too flat, and mar the concord with too harsh a descant. There wanteth but a mean to fill your song.
Mean is drowned by your unruly bass.
Indeed, I bid the bass for Proteus.
This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Here is a coil without protestation. Go, get thee gone, and leave the pieces where they lie. You would be fingering them to anger me.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will you be gone?
You may ruminate.
Nay, would I were so angered with the same. Oh, hateful hands to tear such loving words, injurious wasps to feed on such sweet honey, and kill the bees that yield it with their stings. I'll kiss each several paper for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia, unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Poor wounded name, my bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. Mwah! But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind. Blow not a word away till I have found each letter in the letter, except mine own name, that some whirlwind bear into a rugged, fearful, hanging rock, and throw it thence into the raging sea. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor, forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia. That I'll tear away. And yet I will not, so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus will I fold them one upon the other, to kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Madam, dinner is ready, and your father stays.
Let us go.
What, shall these papers lie like telltales here?
If you respect them, best to take them up.
Nay, I was taken up for lying them down. Yet here they shall not lie, for catching cold.
I see you have a month's mind to them.
Madam, you may say what sights you see. I see things too, although you judge I wink.
Come, come, will it please you go?
Tell me, Pantino, what's that talk was that word my brother held you in the cloister?
It was of his nephew, Proteus, your son.
Why? What of him?
He wondered your lordship would suffer him to spend his time at home, while other men of slender esteem put forth their sons to seek preferment out, some to the wars to try their fortune there, some to find islands far away, some to the studious universities, for any and for all of which he did say that your son was met, and did ask me to importune on you to let him spend his time no more at home, let him great impeachment to his age, and no travel in his youth.
Nor needs thou much importune me to that. We're on this month I've been hammering. I consider well as loss of time, how he cannot be a perfect man, not being tried and tutored in the world. Experiences by industry achieved and perfected by the course of time. Then tell me what the word I best to send him.
I think your lordship is not ignorant of how his companion, youthful Valentine, attends the emperor in his royal court.
I know it well.
'Twere good. I think you sent him thither. There you shall converse with noblemen, practice tilts and tournaments, and be in the eye of every exercise, worthy of his youth and nobleness of birth.
I like thy counsel well hast thou advised, and thou mayest perceive how well I like it. The execution of it shall make known. Even with the speediest expedition, I will dispatch him to the emperor's court.
Tomorrow, may it please you, Don Alfonso with other men of good esteem journey to salute the emperor, and to commend their services unto his will.
Good company, with them shall Proteus go, and in good time. Now will we break with him.
Sweet love, sweet lives, sweet life. Here is her hand, the agent of her heart. Here is her oath for love, her honor's pawn. Oh, that our fathers would applaud our loves to seal our happiness with their consents. Oh, heavenly Julia.
How now? What letter are you reading there?
May it please your lordship, 'tis a word or two of commendation sent from Valentine, delivered by a friend that came from him.
Lend me the letter. Let me see what news.
There is no news, my lord, but that he writes how happily he lives, how well beloved and daily graced by the emperor, wishing thee with him partner of his fortune.
And how stand you affected to his wish?
As one relying on your lordship's will, not depending on his friendly wish.
My will is something sort of with his wish. Muse not thus I suddenly perceive, for what I will, and there's an end. I am resolved that thou shalt spend some time with Valentinus in the emperor's court. No more to say. Tomorrow you must go. Excuse me not, for I am peremptory.
My lord, I cannot be so soon provided. Please you, deliberate a day or two.
Look, what thou wantest shall be sent after thee. No more to say. Tomorrow you must go. Come on, Pantino, you shall be employed to hasten on his expedition.
Thus have I shunned the fire for fear of burning, and drenched me in the sea where I am drowned. I feared to show my father Julia's letter, lest he should take exceptions to my love, and with the vantage of mine own excuse hath he accepted most against my love. Oh, how the spring of love resembleth the uncertain glory of an April day, which now shows all the beauty of the sun, and by a cloud takes all away.
Sir Proteus, your father is in haste, therefore I pray you go.
Why this it is, my heart accords thereto, and yet 1,000 times it answers no.
Sir, your glove.
Not mine.
Well, this may be yours, for this is but one.
Huh? Let me see. I give it me. It's mine. Sweet ornament that decks the thing divine. Ah, Sylvia, Sylvia.
Madam Sylvia! Madam Sylvia!
Oh no, Sirrah.
She's not within hearing, sir.
Why, sir, who bade you call her?
Your worship, sir, or else I mistook.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
And yet I was last chidden for being too slow.
Go to, sir. Tell me, dost thou know Madam Sylvia?
She that your worship loves.
Why, how know you that I am in love?
Marry, sir, by these special marks. First, you have learned, like Sir Proteus, to read your arms like a malcontent, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast, to walk alone like one that's had the pestilence, to sigh like a schoolboy that's lost his ABC, to weep like a young wench that's buried her grandam, to fast like one that takes diet, to watch like one that fears robbing, to speak puling like a beggar at Hallowmass. You were wont, when you laughed, to crow like a cock, cock-a-doodle-doo. When you walked, to walk like one of the lions, roar. When you fasted, it was presently after dinner. When you looked sadly, it was for want of money. And now you are metamorphosed with a mistress that when I look upon you, I can hardly think you are my master.
Are all these things perceived in me?
They're all perceived without you.
But tell me, dost thou know my lady Sylvia?
She that you gaze on so when she sits at supper?
Hast thou observed that? Even she, I mean.
Why, sir, I know her not.
Dost thou know her by my gazing on her, and yet knowest her not?
Is she not hard favored, sir?
Not so fair, boy, as well favored.
Sir, I know that well enough.
What dost thou know?
That she is not so fair as of you well favored.
I mean, her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
That's because the one is painted and the other out of account.
How painted and how out of count?
So painted to make her fair that no man counts of her beauty.
How esteemest thou me? I account of her beauty.
You never saw her since she was deformed.
How long hath she been deformed?
Ever since you loved her.
I have loved her ever since I saw her, and still I see her beautiful.
If you love her, you can't see her.
Why?
Because love is blind. Oh, that you had mine eyes, or your own eyes, had the lights they had, and you chided Sir Proteus for going ungartered.
What should I see then?
Your own present folly and her passing deformity. For he being in love cannot seem to garter his hose, and you being in love cannot seem to put on your hose.
Why, boy, then you are in love. For last morning you could not see to wipe my shoes.
True, sir, I was in love with my bed. I thank you. You swindged me for my love, which makes me the bolder to chide you for yours.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
I wish you were set, so your affection would cease.
Last evening, she enjoined me to write some lines unto one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
Are they not lamely writ?
No, boy, but as well as I could do them. Peace. Here she comes. Madam and mistress, 1,000 good morrows.
Sir Valentine and servant, to you 2,000.
As you enjoined me, I write your letter. unto the secret nameless friend of yours, which I was much unwilling to proceed in, before my duty to your ladyship.
I thank you, gentle servant. 'Tis very clerkly done.
Now trust me, madam, it came hardly off. For being ignorant to whom it goes, I read at random, very doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of so much pains.
No, madam, so it said you, I will write 1,000 times as much, and yet.
A pretty period, well, I guess the sequel. And yet I will not name it. And yet I care not. And yet, take this again. And yet, I thank you, meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will, and yet another yet.
What means your ladyship? Do you not like it?
Yes, the lines are very quaintly writ, but since unwillingly, take it again, nay, take them.
Please you, I'll write your ladyship another.
And when it's writ, for my sake, read it over, and when you have done, if it please you, so, if not, so.
If it please me, madam? What then?
Why, if it please you, take it for your labor. And so, good morrow, servant.
Oh, jest unseen, inscrutable, invisible, as a nose on a man's face or a weathercock on a steeple. My master sues to her, yet she hath taught her suitor. He being her pupil, to become her tutor. Oh, excellent device, were there ever heard a better than my master being scribe to himself should write the letter?
How now? What, are you reasoning with yourself?
Nay, I was rhyming. 'Tis you that has the reason.
To do what?
To be a spokesman for Madame Sylvia.
To whom?
To yourself. Why, she woos you by a figure.
What figure?
By a letter, I should say.
Why, she hath not writ to me.
Why need she, whom she hath made you write to yourself? Why, do you not perceive the jest?
No, believe me.
No, believing you indeed, sir. But did you perceive her earnest?
She gave me none, except an angry word.
Or she hath given you a letter.
That's the letter I writ to her friend.
And that letter hath she delivered. And there an end.
I wouldn't were no worse.
For warrant you this, 'tis as well. For often have you writ to her, and she in modesty, or else for want of idle time, could not again reply. Or fearing else some messenger that might her mind discover, herself hath made her love himself to write unto her lover. All of this I speak in print, for in print I found it. Why muse you, sir? 'Tis dinner time.
I've dined.
I but hearken, though the chameleon love can feed on the air. I am one that am nourished by my victuals, and would fain have meat. Oh, be not like your mistress. Be moved. Be moved.
Gentle Julia.
I must, where is no remedy.
When possibly I can, I will return.
If you turn not, you will return the sooner. Keep this remembrance for thy Julia's sake.
Why, then we'll make exchange. Here, take you this.
And seal the bargain with a holy kiss.
Here is my hand for my true constancy. And when that hour slips me in the day wherein I sigh not, Julia, for thy sake, the next ensuing hour some foul mischance torment me for my love's forgetfulness. The Father stays my coming. Answer not. The tide is now. Hey, not thy tide of tears. I have stayed longer than I should. Julia, farewell. But gone without a word.
So Proteus, you are stayed for.
Go, I come, I come. Alas, this parting strikes poor lovers dumb.
Nay, to be this hour ere I have done weeping. All the kind of lances have this very fault. I have received my proportion, like the prodigious sun, and am going with Sir Proteus to the Imperial's court. I think Crab, my dog, is the sourest natured dog that lives.
My mother weeping, my father crying, my sister wailing, her maid howling, her cat wringing her hands, and all our house in a great perplexity. Yet this cruel-hearted cur did not shed one tear. He's a stone, a very pibble stone, and there's no more pity in him than a dog. Even my grandam, having no eyes look to you, wept herself blind at my parting. Nay, I'll show you the manner of it. This shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my mother. Now that cannot be so neither. Aye, it is so. It hath the worser soul. This shoe with the hole in it is my mother, and this my father. A vengeance on't, there 'tis. Now, sir, this staff is my sister, for, look you, she's as white as a lily and as small as a wand. This hat is Nan, our maid. I am the dog. No, the dog is himself and I am the dog. Oh, the dog is me and I am myself. Ah, so. Now, come I to my father. Father, your blessing. Now the shoe should not speak a word for weeping. I kiss my father. Well, he weeps on. Now come I to my mother. Oh, she can speak now like a old woman. Well, I kiss her. Oh, there 'tis. My mother's breath up and down. Now come I to my sister. Mark the moan she makes. The dog, all this while, sheds not a tear nor speaks a word. But see how I lay the dust with my tears.
Lance, away abroad, thy master is shipped and out to post after with oars. What's the matter, man? Why weepest thou? Away, ass, you'll lose the tide if you tarry any longer.
It's no matter if the tide were lost, for he is the unkindest tide that any man ever tied.
What unkindest tide?
He that's tied here, Crab, my dog.
Tut, man, I mean, thou lose the flood. And losing thy flood, lose thy voyage. And losing thy voyage, lose thy master. Losing thy master, lose thy service. And in losing thy service, what's the matter? Why stopest thou? Why stop my mouth?
For fear that thou shalt lose thy tongue.
Where shalt thou lose my tongue?
In thy tail.
In thy tail?
Lose the tide and the voyage and the master and the service and the tide. Why, man, if the river were dry, I could fill it with my tears. If the wind were down, I could dry the boat with my sighs.
I was sent to call thee.
Call me what thou darest.
Wilt thou go?
Well, I will go.
My name is Terry, I'm a guy from Milan. I love a girl named Sylvia, but she's in love with Valentine, who looks like a fool and smells like clementines. Why, oh, why was I sidelined for Valentine? Answer me that. Why, oh, why do you think I'm a bad guy? Answer me that. I don't have any fame and I'm not that cool. I only have a friend and I act like a fool, but I deserve her as my bride. After all, I've got her dead on my side. Why, oh, why was I sidelined for this guy? Answer me that. Why, oh, why does she think I'm a bad guy? Answer me that. I'm okay being in the back of the room while she swoons and I cry many monsoons. Tears are my deceptive art. I'm here for money, even if matter what you say. Why, oh, why was I sidelined for Valentine? Answer me that. Why, oh, why am I such a bad guy? Answer me that.
Servant! Mistress!
Master, Sir Thurio frowns on you.
Aye, boy, it is for love.
Not of you.
Of my mistress, then.
Forget you knocked him.
Servant, you are sad.
Indeed, madam, I seem so.
You that you are not?
Haply I do.
So do counterfeits.
So do you.
What seem I that I'm not?
Wise.
How?
What, angry, Sir Thurio? Do you change color?
Give him leave, madam. He is a kind of chameleon.
That hath more mind to feed on your blood than live in your air.
You have said, sir.
Aye, sir, and done too for this time.
I know it well, sir. You always end ere you begin.
No more, gentlemen, no more. Here comes my father.
Now, daughter Sylvia, you are hard beset. Sir Valentine, your father is in good health. What say you to a letter from your friends of much good news?
I would be thankful to any happy messenger from thence.
Know you Don Antonio, your countryman?
I, my good lord, I know the gentleman to be of worth and worthy estimation.
Hath he
without
not a
possession.
son?
I, my good lord, a son that well deserves the honor and regard of such a father.
You know him well.
I knew him as myself, for from our infancy we have conversed and spent our hours together. And though myself have been an idle truant, omitting the sweet benefit of time to clothe mine age with angel-like perfection, he is complete in feature and in mind, with all good grace to grace a gentleman.
Beshrew me, sir, but if you make this good, he is as worthy for an empress's love, as meet to be an emperor's counselor. Well, good sir, this gentleman has come to me with commendation from great potentates, and here he means to spend his time a while. I think 'tis no unwelcome news to you.
Should I have wished the thing it had been he?
Well, welcome him then, according to his worth. I will send him hither to you presently.
This is the gentleman I told your ladyship had come along with me, but that his mistress did hold his eyes locked in her crystal looks.
Belike she thinks he hath enfranchised them upon some other pawn for fealty.
Nay, sure, I think she holds them prisoners still.
Nay, then, he should be blind, and being blind, how could he see his way to seek out you?
Why, lady, love hath 20 pair of eyes.
That love hath not an eye at all.
To see such lovers, Thurio, as yourself, upon the homely object, love can wink.
No more, no more. Here comes the gentleman.
Welcome, dear Proteus. Mistress, I beseech you, confirm his welcome with some special favor.
His welcome is warrant for his welcome hither. If this be he you oft have wished to hear from.
Mistress, it is. Sweet lady, entertain him to be my fellow servant to your ladyship.
Too low a mistress for so high a servant.
Not so, sweet lady, but to meet a servant to have a look of such a worthy mistress.
Leave off this course of disability.
My
Sweet
duty
lady,
will-
entertain him for your servant.
Duty will I boast of nothing else.
And duty never yet did want his needs. Servant, you are welcome to a worthless mistress.
I'll die on him that says so but yourself.
That you are welcome?
That you are worthless.
Come, Sir Thurio, go with me. Once more, new servant, welcome. We'll leave you to confer of home affairs, and when you have done, we look to hear from you.
We'll both attend upon your ladyship.
How do all from whence you came?
Your friends are well and have them much commended.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
And how does your lady, and how thrives your love?
My tales of love were wont to weary you. I know you join not in a love discourse.
I, Proteus, but that life is altered now. I have done penance for contemning love, whose high imperious thoughts have punished me, with bitter fasts, with penitential groans, with nightly tears and daily heart-sore sighs. For in revenge of my contempt of love, love hath chased sleep from my enthralled eyes and made them watchers of my own heart's sorrow. Oh, Proteus, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me as I confess there is no woe to his correction, no such joy on earth. Now no discourse, except it be of love. Now I can break my fast, dine, sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough! I read your fortune in your eye. Is this the idol that you worship so?
Even she. And is she not a heavenly saint?
No, but she is an earthly paragon.
Call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Oh, flatter me, for love delights in praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the like to you.
Then speak the truth by her. If not divine, yet let her be a principality, sovereign to all the creatures on the earth.
Except my mistress.
Sweet, except not any, except thou wilt accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. She shall be dignified with this high honor, to bear my lady's train, lest the base earth should from her vesture chance to steal a kiss, and of so great a favor growing proud, disdain to root the summer swelling flowers, and make rough winter everlastingly.
My Valentine, what braggertism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus. All I can is nothing to her whose worth makes other worthies nothing. She is alone.
And you're alone.
Not for the world, why man, she is mine own, and I is rich in having such a jewel as 20 seas. If all their sand were pearl, the water nectar, and the rocks pure gold. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, for because thou seest me dote upon my love. My foolish rival, that her father likes, only for his possessions are so huge, is gone along with her, and I must after, for love thou knowest is full of jealousy.
But she loves you?
Aye, and we are betrothed. Nay, more, our marriage hour, with all the cunning manner of our flight, determined of how I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, and all the means plotted and agreed upon for my happiness. Come with me to my chamber, Proteus, in these affairs to aid me with thy counsel.
Go on before. I shall inquire you forth. I must into the road to disembark some necessaries that I needs must use, and then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will. Even as one heat another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object quite forgotten. Is it mine eye, or Valentine's praise, her true perfection, or my false transgression that makes me reasonless to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love. That I did love, for now my love is thawed, which like a waxen image against a fire bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love his lady too much, and that's the reason I love him so little. How shall I dote on her with more advice that thus without advice begin to love her? 'Tis but a picture I have yet beheld, and that hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not to compass her, I'll use my skill.
Lance, by mine honesty, welcome to Milan.
Swear not thyself, sweet youth, for I am not welcome. I reckon this always. For a man is never identically be hanged, nor never welcome to a place till some certain shot be paid, and the hostess say welcome.
Come on, you madcap. I'll go to the alehouse with you presently, where for one shot of 5 pence, thou shalt have 5,000 welcomes. But Sirrah, how did thy master part with Madame Julia?
After they closed in earnest, they parted very fairly in jest.
But shall she marry him?
No,
How then shall he marry her?
no, neither.
What, are they broken?
No, they are both as whole as a fish.
Why then, what stands the matter with them?
And it stands well with him, it stands well with her.
What an ass art thou? I understand thee not.
What a block art thou that thou canst not? My staff understands me.
What thou sayest?
I and what I do too look, all but lean, and my staff understands me.
It stands under thee indeed.
Stand under and understand is all one.
But tell me true, will to be a match?
Here. Ask my dog.
If he say I, it will. If he say no, it will. If he shakes his tail and say nothing, it will.
The conclusion is then that it will.
Thou shalt never get such a secret from me but by parable.
'Tis well that I get it so. Valance, how sayest thou that my master has become a notable lover?
I never knew him otherwise.
Then how?
A notable lubber, as thou reportest him to be.
Why, thou horse and ass, thou mistakest me.
I fool, I'm in love thee, I meant thy master.
I tell thee, my master has become a hot lover.
Well, I tell thee, I care not if he doth burn himself in love. Come, to the alehouse with me presently. Wilt thou go?
At thy service.
To leave my Julia shall I be forsworn. To love fair Sylvia shall I be forsworn. To wrong my friend I shall be much forsworn. And even that power which gave me first my oath provokes me to this threefold perjury. Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. Oh, sweet suggesting love, if thou hast sinned, teach me, thy tempted subject, to excuse it. At first I did adore a twinkling star, but now I worship a celestial sun. Unheedful vows may heedfully be broken, and he wants with that want resolved will to learn who's it to exchange the bad for better. Fie, unreverend tongue, to call her bad, whose sovereignty so oft thou hast preferred with 20,000 soul-confirming oaths. I cannot leave to love, and yet I do. But there I leave to love where I should love. Julia I lose, and Valentine I lose. If I keep them, I needs must lose myself. If I lose them, thus find I by their loss, for Valentine, myself, for Julia, Sylvia. I to myself am dearer than a friend, for love is still most precious in itself. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering that my love to her is dead, and Valentine will hold an enemy, aiming at Sylvia as a sweeter friend. I cannot now prove constant to myself without some treachery used to Valentine. This night he meaneth with a corded ladder to climb celestial Sylvia's chamber window, myself in counsel his competitor. Now presently I'll give her father notice of their disguising and pretended flight, who all in rage will banish Valentine, for Thurio he intends to wed his daughter. But Valentine being gone, I'll quickly cross by some sly trick blunt Thurio's still proceeding. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, as thou hast lent me wit to plot this drift.
Counsel Lucetta, gentle girl, assist me, and even in kind love, I do conjure thee, who art the table, wherein all my thoughts are visibly charactered and engraved, to lesson me, and tell me some good mean how, with my honor, I may undertake a journey to my loving Proteus.
Alas, the way is wearisome and long.
A true devoted pilgrim is not weary to measure kingdoms with his feeble steps. Much less is she that has love's wings to fly, and when the flight is made to one so dear, of such divine perfection as Sir Proteus.
Better forbear till Proteus make return.
Oh, know you not his looks are my soul's food? Pity the dearth that I have pined it in by longing for that food so long a time. Didst thou but know the inly touch of love, you would sooner go kindle fire with snow than seek to quench the fire of love with words.
Madam, I seek not to quench your love's hot fire, but to qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it burn above the bounds of reason.
The more thou damnest it up, the more it burns. The gentle current that with gentle murmur glides, thou knowest, being stopped, impatiently doth rage. But when his fair course is not hindered, he makes sweet music with enameled stones, giving a gentle kiss to each sedge he overtaketh in his pilgrimage. And thus by many winding nooks he strays with willing sport to the wild ocean. Then let me go, and hinder not my course.
But in what habit will you go along?
Not like a woman, for I would prevent the lascivious encounters of lascivious men. Gentle Lucetta, fit me in the weeds that may beseem some well-reputed page.
Why then, your ladyship must cut her hair.
No, girl. I'll tie it up in silken strings with 20-odd conceited true love knots. To be fantastic may become a youth of greater time than I shall show to be.
What fashion, madam, shall I make your breeches?
Why, even in the fashion thou best likes, Lucetta.
You must needs have them with a codpiece, madam.
Oh, Lucetta, that will be ill-favored. But tell me, wench, how will the world repute me if I take so unstead a journey? I fear it will make me scandalized.
If you think so, then stay at home and go not.
That I will not.
Then never dream on infamy, but go. If Proteus like it when you come, no matter who's displeased when you are gone, I fear me he will scarce be pleased withal.
That, Lucetta, is the least of my fear. 1,000 instances of infinite love, an ocean of his tears, warrant me welcome to my Proteus.
All these are servants to deceitful men.
Base men that use them to so base an effect, but truer stars did govern Proteus's birth. His words are bonds, his oaths are oracles, his thoughts immaculate, his tears pure messengers sent from his heart as far from fraud as heaven from earth.
Pray heaven he prove so when you come to him.
Now, as thou lovest me, do him not that wrong to bear a hard opinion of his truth. Only deserve my love by loving him, and presently go with me to my chamber to take note of what I stand in need of to furnish me upon my longing journey. All that is mine I leave at thy dispose, my goods, my lands, my reputation. Only, in lieu thereof, dispatch me hence. Come, answer not, but to it presently. I am impatient of my tarrying.
Now tell me, Proteus. Sir Thurio, give us leave, I pray, a while. We have some secrets to confer about. Now tell me, Proteus, what's your will with me?
My gracious lord, that which I would discover the law of friendship bids me to conceal. But when I call to mind your gracious favors done to me, undeserving as I am, my duty pricks me on to utter that which else no worldly good should draw from me. No worthy prince, Sir Valentine, my friend, this night intends to steal away your daughter. Myself am one made privy to the plot. I know you have determined to bestow her on Thurio, whom your gentle daughter hates, and should she thus be stolen away from you, it would be much vexation to your age. Thus, for my duty's sake, I rather chose to cross my friend in his intended drift, than by concealing it heap on your head a pack of sorrows which would press you down, being unprevented, to your timeless grave.
Proteus, I thank thee for thine honest care, which to requite command me while I live. This love of theirs myself have often seen, haply when they have judged me fast asleep, and oftentimes have purposed to forbid Sir Valentine her company and my court. But fearing lest my jealous aim might err, and thus unworthily disgrace the man, a rashness which I ever yet have shunned, I gave him gentle looks, thereby to find that which thyself hast now disclosed to me. And that thou mayst perceive my fear of this, knowing that tender youth is soon suggested, I nightly lodge her in an upper tower, the key whereof myself have ever kept, and thence she cannot be conveyed away.
No, noble lord, they have devised a mean how he her chamber window will ascend, and with a corded ladder fetch her down, for which the youthful lover now is gone. But this way comes he with it presently, where if it please you may intercept him. But, good my lord, do it so cunningly that my discovery be not aimed at, for love of you, not hating to my friend, hath made me publisher of this pretense.
Upon mine honor, he shall never know that I had any light from thee of this.
But you, my lord, Sir Valentine is coming.
Sir Valentine! Whither away so fast?
Please, your grace, there's a messenger that stays to bear my letters to my friends, and I'm going to deliver them.
Be they of much import?
The tenor of them doth but signify my health and happy being at your court.
Nay then, no matter, stay with me a while. I am to break with thee of some affairs that touch me near, wherein thou must be secret. 'Tis not unknown to thee that I have sought to match my friend Sir Thurio to my daughter.
I know it well, my lord. And sure the match were rich and honorable. Besides, the gentleman is full of virtue, bounty, worth, and qualities beseeming such a wife as your fair daughter. Cannot your grace win her to fancy him?
No, trust me, he is peevish, sullen, froward, proud, disobedient, stubborn, lacking duty, neither regarding that she is my child, nor fearing me as if I were her father. And may I say to thee, This pride of hers, upon advice, hath drawn my love from her. And what I had thought the remnant of mine age should have been cherished by her childlike duty, I am now full resolved to take a wife, and turn her out to who will take her in. Then let her beauty be her wedding dower. From me and my possessions she esteems not.
What would your grace have me do in this?
There is a lady here whom I affect, but she is nice and coy, and not esteems my aged eloquence. Now therefore would I have thee to my tutor, for I have long agone forgot to court. Besides, the fashion of the time is changed, how and which way I may bestow myself, to be regarded in her sun-bright eye.
Win her with gifts if she respects not words. Dumb jewels, often in their silent kind, more than quick words to move a woman's mind. Win her with gifts if she respects not words. A woman will sometimes scorn what best contents her, but then send her another present. Never give her more. For scorn at first makes after love the more. If she do chide, 'tis not to have you gone, for by the fools are mad if left alone. Take no repulse, whatever she doth say. Forget you gone, she doth not mean away. Sir?
But she, is promised by her friends unto a youthful gentleman of worth, and kept severely from resort of men, that no man hath access by day to her.
Why then I would resort to her by night.
Aye, but doors be locked and keys kept safe, that no man hath recourse to her by night.
What lets but one may enter at her window?
Her chamber is aloft and far from the ground, and built so shelving that none may enter it without apparent hazard of his life.
Why then a ladder, greatly made of cords, with a pair of anchoring hooks to cast up, would serve to scale another hero's tower, so bold Leander would adventure it.
Now, as thou art a gentleman of blood, advise me where I may have such a ladder.
When would you use it? Pray, sir, tell me that.
Why, this very night, for love is like a child that longs for everything that he can come by.
By 7 o'clock, I'll get you such a ladder.
But hark thee, I will go to her alone. How am I best to convey the ladder thither?
It will be light, my lord, that you may bear it under a cloak that is of any length.
A cloak as long as thine will serve the turn?
Aye, my good lord.
Well then, let me feel thy cloak. I will get me one of such another length.
Why, any cloak would serve the turn, my lord.
But how shall I fashion me to wear a cloak? I pray thee, let me feel thy cloak upon me. What letter is this saying on here? To Sylvia? And here an engine fit for my proceeding. I'll be so bold as to break the seal for once. My thoughts do harbor with my Sylvia at night only. And slaves they are to me that send them flying. Oh, could their master come and go as lightly himself would lodge where senseless they are lying. My herald thoughts in thy pure bosom rest them, while I their king that thither them importune, that which such great grace hath blessed them, because myself do want my servants' fortune. I curse myself, for they are sent by me, that they should harbor where their lord should be. Sylvia, this night I will enfranchise thee. 'Tis so, and here's the ladder for the purpose. Won't thou reach the stars because they shine on thee? Thou base intruder, overweening slave, scorn and smiles on equal mates, and think my patience more than thy desert is privilege for thy departure from hence. More than for all the favors which all too much I have bestowed on thee. But if thou linger in my territories longer than swiftest expedition can give thee time to leave our royal court, by heaven, my wrath, how far exceed the love I ever bore my daughter or thy. Begone, I will not hear thy vain excuse, but as thou lovest thy life, make speed from hence.
Oh. And why not death, rather than living in torment? To die is to be banished from myself, and Sylvia is myself. Banished from her is self from self, a deadly banishment. What light is light if Sylvia be not seen? What joy is joys if Sylvia be not by? Unless it is to think that she is by, and feed upon the shadow of perfection. Unless I be by Sylvia in the night, there is no music in the nightingale. Unless I look on Sylvia in the day, there is no day for me to look upon. She is my essence, and I leave to be if I be not by her fair influence. Fostered, illumined, cherished, kept alive. I fly not death to fly this deadly doom. Tarry I here, I but attend on death. But fly I hence, I fly away from life.
Valentine?
No,
Who then? His spirit?
neither.
What then?
Nothing.
Nothing speak? Master, shall I strike?
Wouldst thou strike?
Nothing.
Villain, forbear.
Oh, strike nothing, sir. I pray you.
Ah, I say forbear. Friend Valentine, a word.
My ears are stopped and cannot hear good news. So much of bad hath already possessed them.
Then in dumb silence will I bury mine, for they are harsh, untunable, and bad.
Is Sylvia dead?
No, Valentine.
No Valentine, indeed, for sacred Sylvia. Hath she forsworn me?
No, Valentine.
No Valentine if Sylvia hath forsworn me. What is your news?
Sir, there is a proclamation that you are vanished.
That thou art banished, oh, that's the news. From hence, from Sylvia, and from me, thy friend.
Oh, I am fed upon this woe already, and no excess of it shall make me surfeit.
Sylvia hath offered to the doom a sea of melting pearl, which some call tears. With them upon her knees, her humble self, wringing her hands, whose whiteness so became them, as if but now they waxed pale for woe. But neither bended knees, pure hands held up, sad sighs, deep groans, nor silver-shedding tears could penetrate her uncompassionate sire. But Valentine, if he be ta'en, must die. Because her intercession chafed him so when she for thy repeal was suppliant, that to close prison he commanded her, with many bitter threats, abiding there.
No more, unless the next word that thou speakest have some malignant power upon my life. If so, I pray thee, breathe it in mine ear as an ending anthem of my endless dolor.
Cease torment for that thou canst not help, and study help for that which thou lament'st. Time is the nurse and breeder of all good. Here if thou stay, thou canst not see thy love. Besides, thy staying will abridge thy life. Hope is a lover's staff. Walk hence with that, and manage it against despair and thoughts. Thy letters may be here, though thou art hence, which being writ to me shall be delivered even in the milk-white bosom of thy love. The time now serves not to expostulate. Come, I'll convey thee through the city gate, and ere I part with thee, confer at large of all that may concern thy love affairs. As thou lovest Sylvia, though not for thyself, regard thy danger, and along with me.
I pray thee, Lance, if thou seest my boy, bid him make haste and meet me at the north gate.
Go, Sirrah, find him out. Come, Valentine.
Oh, my dear Sylvia, hapless Valentine.
I am but a fool, look you, and yet I have the wit to think my master is a kind of a knave, but that is a one if he be but one knave. He lives not now that knows me to be in love, and yet I am in love. But a team of horse shall not pluck that from me, nor who 'tis I love, and yet 'tis a woman. But what kind of woman I turn not myself, and yet 'tis the milkmaid. She hath more qualities than a water spaniel, which is much in a bare Christian. Look, here is the catalogue of her condition. Imprimis, she can fetch and carry. Why? A horse can do no more. Nay, a horse cannot fetch but only carry. Therefore is she better than a jade. Item, she can milk. A sweet virtue in a maid with clean hands.
How now, Signor Lance? What news of your mastership?
With my mastership, why, it is at sea.
Well, you're old by still. Mistake the word. What news, then, in your paper?
Why,
The blackest news that ever thou heardest.
My man, how black.
Why, as black as ink.
Let me read it.
Finally, jolthead, thou canst not read.
Thou liest, I can. Come, fool, come, try me in thy paper.
There, and St. Nicholas be thy speed.
She can milk.
Aye, that she can.
Item, she brews good ale.
And therefore comes the proverb, blessing of your heart, you brew good ale.
Item, she can sew.
But that's as much as say, can she sew?
Item, she can knit.
Why need a man care for a stock with a wench when she can knit him a stock?
Item, she can wash and scour.
A special virtue.
She hath many nameless virtues. Here follow her vices.
Close at the heels of her virtues.
Item, she is not to be kissed, fasting in respect of her breath.
Well, that fault can be mended with a breakfast. Read on.
Item, she doth talk in her sleep.
There's no matter for that, so she not sleep in her talk.
Item, she hath no teeth.
I care not for that either, because I love crusts.
Item, she is cursed.
Well, the best is she hath no teeth to bite.
Item, she will often praise her liquor.
If her liquor be good, she shall. If she will not, I will. For good things should be praised.
Item, she is too liberal.
Well, proceed.
Item, she hath more hair than wit, more faults than hair, and more money than faults.
Stop there. I'll have her. She was mine, and not mine twice or thrice in that last article. Now I will tell thee that thy master stays for thee at the north gate.
For me?
For thee? Aye, who art thou? He hath stayed for a better man than thee.
And I must go to him?
Thou must run to him, for thou hast stayed so long that going will scarce serve thy turn.
Why didn't thou tell me sooner? Pops in her love letters.
He will be swinged for reading my letter, an unmannerly slave to thrust himself into secrets. I'll after to rejoice in the voice correction.
I wonder what you're doing even now when I am so far away. I feel my heart going to yours across the vastiness of space. I wonder why you fell and led me to hope. I wonder why I got myself caught with that stupid letter of love. But you're wondering every way. I just hope that I can be yours. So I wonder what you call me in your mind while I am out here in the woods. I wonder if you're falling out of love or if I have your heart for good. I wonder what you think we're doing. What are we doing? Let me back to say you're wondering everywhere. Wonder what you are. I wonder what you are. I wonder what you are to me. Take me back.
Dark in the silence between the trees as you walk. The devil's eyes are blinking wide in the night. Little sparks, glowing diamonds of deep desire, beating hearts. They light the meadow with disappearing hearts. Oh, I'm like a firefly, burning bright, then I'm gone. Oh, I'm like a firefly, when the lights start, I fly on. Not for months, not a letter's arrived from you, dear my love. I wonder if you remember holding me. Long has your attention been turned away to the swan, the silent, psychedelic symphony. Oh, I'm like a firefly, bright, then I'm gone. Oh, am I like a firefly? When the light's gone, then I fly. On the road, my whole body is saddle sore. All around me are sweaty and rough-handed men. Hours a day, I fantasize having you here in my arms. No misfortune could dampen my heart on fire. Now I can feel myself growing up, growing wiser, the fire set in my heart, expanding its flame. In this march, in this vibrant and magic world, in the skies, I wonder if you'll seem changed or still the same. My Proteus soul, am I just a firefly, burning bright?
Look at her in those clothes, on a journey of woes. Have you ever seen anything so ridiculous? Looking ugly as sin, trying hard to fit in. This would never have been if she'd listened to me. Now you and I both aware what awaits her out there. Only heartbreak and hair on her chin. We know that her love has espied another girl for his bride, and she would not be notified if she listened to me. She'd be safe with her father, and no codpiece or cart, and no boyfriend to bother her with his unfaithful heart. She would not be traveling alone, surrounded by men covered in dust, being haunted by things that are known on this jaunt to find Proteus. Then thus, of many good, I think him best. But if she listened to me, then she never would be running off to find Proteus. No, I cannot be to blame, but I lit her heart's flame, and now I'll bear the shame, since she listened to me.
Sir Thurio, fear not, but that she will love you. Now Valentine is banished from her sight.
Ever since his exile, she hath despised me most, forswore my company, and railed at me, that I am desperate of obtaining her.
This weak impress of love is as a figure trenched in ice, which within hours he doth dissolve to water and doth lose its form. A little time will melt her frozen thoughts, and worthless Valentine shall be forgot. How now, Proteus? Is your countryman, according to our proclamation, gone?
Gone, my good lord.
My daughter takes his going grievously.
A little time, my lord, will kill that grief.
So I believe, but Thurio thinks not so. Proteus, the good conceit I hold of thee, for thou hast shown some sign of good desert, makes me the better to confer with thee.
Longer than I prove loyal to your grace, let me not live to look upon your grace.
Thou knowest how willingly I would effect the marriage between Sir Thurio and my daughter.
I do, my lord.
And also I think thou art not ignorant how she opposes her against my will.
She did, my lord, when Valentine was here.
Aye, and perversely she persevers so. What might we do to make the girl forget the love of Valentine and love Sir Thurio?
The best way is to slander Valentine with falsehood, cowardice, and poor descent, 3 things that women highly hold in hate.
Aye, but she'll think it is spoken hate.
Aye, if his enemy deliver it, therefore it must in circumstance be spoken by one who she esteemeth as his friend.
Then you must undertake to slander him.
And that, my lord, I shall be loath to do. 'Tis an ill office for a gentleman, especially against his very friend.
Well, where your good word can never advantage him, your slander can never damage him. Therefore, the office is indifferent, being entreated to it by your friend.
You have prevailed, my lord. If I can do it by aught that I can speak in his dispraise, she shall not long continue love to him. But say to sweet her love from Valentine. Follows not that she will love Sir Thurio.
Therefore, as you unwind her love from him, lest it should ravel and be good to none, you must provide to bottom it on me, which must be done by praising me as much as you and Worth dispraise Sir Valentine.
As much as I can do, I will effect. But you, Sir Thurio, are not sharp enough. You must lay lime to tangle her desires by wailful sonnets whose composed rhymes should be full fraught with serviceable vows.
Aye, much is the force of heaven-bred poesy.
Say that upon the altar for beauty you sacrifice your tears, your sighs, your heart, right till your ink be dry, and with your tears moist it again and frame some feeling line that may discover such integrity. After your dire lamenting elegies, visit by night your lady's chamber window with some sweet consort, to their instruments tune a deploring dump. The night's dead silence will well become such sweet complaining grievance. This, or else nothing will inherit her.
This discipline shows thou hast been in love.
And thy advice this night I'll put in practice. Therefore, sweet Proteus, my direction giver, let us into the city presently to sort some gentlemen well skilled in music. I have a sonnet that will serve the turn to give the answer to thy good advice.
About it, gentlemen.
Fellows, stand fast, I see a passenger.
If there be 10, shrink not, but down with them.
Stand, sir, and throw us what you have about you. If not, we'll make you sit and rifle you.
Sure, we're done. These are the villains that the travelers do fear so much.
My friends!
That's not so, sir. We are your enemies.
Please, we'll hear him.
Aye, by my beard, we will, for he is a proper man.
Then know that I have little wealth to lose. A man I am crossed with adversity. My riches are these poor habiliments, of which if you should here just furnish me, you take the sum and substance that I have.
Or travel you.
To Verona,
Whence came you?
from Milan,
How long have you sojourned there?
some 16 months, and longer might have stayed if crooked fortune had not thwarted me.
What? Were you banished then?
I was,
For what offense?
for that which now torments me to rehearse, I killed a man, whose death I much repent, but yet I slew him manfully in fight without false vantage or base treachery.
Why do you repent it if it were done so? But were you banished for so small a fault?
I was, and held me glad of such a doom.
Have you the tongues?
My youthful travel therein made me happy, or else I often had been miserable.
By the bare scalp of Robin Hood's frat friar. This man were a king for a wild faction.
We'll have him. Sirs, a word.
Master, be one of them. It's an honorable kind of thievery.
Peace, villain.
Tell us this. Have you anything to take to?
Nothing but my fortune.
Know then that some of us are gentlemen, such as the fury of ungoverned youth have been thrust from the company of awful men. Myself from Verona banished, for practicing to steal away a lady, ere and near allied unto the Duke.
And I, from Mantua, for a gentleman who, in my mood, I stabbed into the heart.
And I, for such like petty crimes as these, but to the purpose, or recite our faults, that they may hold excused our lawless lives, and partly see as you were beautified with goodly shape, and by your own report a linguist, a man of such perfection as we do in our qualities much want.
Indeed, because you are a banished man, therefore above the rest, we parley to you. Are you content to be our general, to make a virtue of necessity, and live as we do in this wilderness?
What sayest thou? Wilt thou be of our consort? Say I, and be the captain of us all. Will do thee homage and be ruled by thee. Love thee as our commander and king.
But if thou scorn our courtesy, thou diest.
Thou shalt not live to brag what we have offered.
Then I will take thy offer and live with thee, provided that you do no outrages on silly women or poor passengers.
No, we detest such vile, base treachery. Now come, we'll go with us. We'll take thee to our cruise and show thee all the treasure that we've got, which, like ourselves, all lie at thy dispose.
Hooray!
Hey!
Hurrah!
Already have I been false to Valentine, and now I must be as unjust to Thurio under the color of commending him. I have excess my own love to prefer, but Sylvia is too fair, too true, too holy to be corrupted with my worthless gifts. When I protest true loyalty to her, she twits me with my falsehood to my friend. When to her beauty I commend my vows, she bids me think how I have been forsworn in breaking faith with Julia, whom I loved. And notwithstanding all her sudden clips, the least whereof would quell a lover's hope. It's spaniel-like, the more she spurns my love, the more it grows and fawneth on her still. But here comes Thurio.
How now, Sir Proteus? Are you crept before us?
Aye, gentle Thurio, for you know that love will creep in service where it cannot go.
Aye, sir, but I hope your love not here. Now, gentlemen, let's tune, and to it lustily a while.
Now, my young guest, methinks your alley calling. Come, we'll have you married. I'll bring you where you shall hear music and see the gentleman you ask for.
When shall I hear him speak?
Aye, that you shall.
That will be music.
Hark, hark.
Is he among these?
Aye, but peace, let's hear him.
Sylvia, what is she that all our swains commend her? Holy, fair, and wise is she that heaven such grace did lend her, that she might admire be. Is she kind as she is fair, for beauty lies in kindness. Love doth through her eyes repair to help him of his blindness, and being helped inhabits there. Then to Sylvia let us sing. Sylvia is excelling. She excels each mortal thing upon the dull earth dwelling. Through her let us garlands bring. Through her let us garlands bring. To her let us garlands bring.
How now? Are you sadder than before? How do you, man? The music likes you not.
You mistake. The conductor likes me not.
Why, my pretty youth?
He plays false, father.
How? Out of tune on the strings?
Not so, but yet so out of tune that it grieves my very heartstrings.
You have a quick ear.
I would I were deaf. It makes me have a slow heart.
I perceive you delight not in music.
Not a whit when it jars so.
Hark, what fine changes in the music.
Aye, that change is the spite.
So you would have them always play but one thing?
I would always have one play, but one thing. But tell me, host, does this Sir Proteus we talk on often resort unto this gentlewoman?
I'll tell you what Lance's man told me. He loves her out of all neck.
Where is Lance?
Gone to speak to God. Tomorrow, by his master's command, he must carry for a present to his lady.
Madam? Good even to your ladyship.
Sir Proteus, as I take it.
Sir Proteus, gentle lady, and your servant.
What's your will?
That I may compass yours.
You have your wish. My will is even this, that presently you hie home to bed, thou subtle, perjured, false, disloyal man. Thinkest thou I am so shallow, so conceitless to be seduced by thy flattery that hast deceived so many with thy vows? Return, return, and make thy love amends. For me, by this pale queen of night, I swear I am so far from granting thy request, that I despise thee for thy wrongful suit. By and by, intend to chide myself, even for this time I spend talking to thee.
I grant, sweet love, that I did love a lady, but she is dead.
What?
Say that she be, yet Valentine thy friend survives. To whom thyself art witnessed, I am betrothed. Art thou not ashamed to wrong him with thy importunacy?
I likewise hear that Valentine is dead.
Oh, and so suppose am I, for sure thyself, in his grave my love is buried.
Sweet lady, let me rake it from the earth.
Oh, or go to thy lady's grave and call her thence, or at least in hers sepulchre thine.
Madam, if your heart be so obdurate, vouchsafe me yet your picture for my love, the picture that is hanging in your chamber. To that I'll speak, to that I'll sigh and weep, for since the substance of your perfect self is else devoted, I am but a shadow, and to your shadow will I make true love.
I am very loath to be your idol, sir. But since your falsehood shall become you, to worship shadows and adore false shapes, send to me in the morning and I'll send it, and so good rest.
As wretches have our night, that wait for execution in the morn.
Ah!
Host, will you go?
By my halidom, I was fast asleep.
Pray you, where lies Sir Proteus?
Mary at my house. Trust me, I think 'tis almost day.
Not so, but it hath been the longest night that e'er I watched, and the most heaviest.
Now it is about the very hour that Madame Sylvia entreated me to call and know her mind. There's some great matter she'd employ me in. Madam, madam!
Sir Eglamour, 1,000 times good morrow.
As many, worthy lady, to yourself. According to your ladyship's impose, there's some great matter that she'd employ me in. I am thus early come to know what service it is your pleasure to employ me in.
Oh, Eglamour, thou art a gentleman. Think not I flatter, for I swear I do not. Valiant, wise, remorseful, well accomplished. Thou art not ignorant to what dear good I bear unto the banished Valentine, nor how my father enforced me marry vain Thurio, whom my very soul abhorred. Thyself hast loved, and I have heard thee say, No grief did ever come so near thy heart as when thy lady and thy true love died, upon whose grave thou vowedest pure chastity. Sir Eglamour, I would to Valentine to Mantua, where I hear he makes abode, and for the ways are dangerous to pass. I do desire thy worthy company, upon whose faith and honor I repose. Curse not my father's anger, Eglamour, but think upon my grief, a lady's grief, and upon the justice of my flying hence to keep me from a most unholy match, which heaven and fortune still rewards with plagues. I do desire thee, even from a heart as full of sorrows as the sea of sands, to bear me company and to go with me, if not, to hide what I have said to thee, that I may venture to depart alone.
Madam, I pity much your grievances, which, since I know they virtuously are placed, I give consent to go along with you, recking as little what betideth me, as much I wish all good befortune you. When will you go?
This evening coming.
Where shall I meet you?
At Friar Patrick's cell, where I intend holy confession.
I will not fail your ladyship. Good morrow, gentle lady.
Good morrow, kind Sir Eglamour.
When a man's servant shall play the cur with him, look you, goes hard. One that I brought up of a puppy, one that I saved from drowning when 3 or 4 of his blind brothers and sisters went to it. I have taught him, even as one would say precisely, thus I would teach a dog. I was sent to deliver him as a present to Mistress Sylvia from my master. And we came no sooner into the dining chamber than he steps me to her trencher and steals her captain's leg. Oh, 'tis a foul thing when a cur cannot keep himself in all companies. I would have, as one should say, one that takes upon himself to be a dog indeed, to be as it were a dog in all things. If I had not had more wit than he, to take a fault upon me that he did, I think verily he had been hanged for it. Sure as I live, he had suffered for it. You shall judge. He thrust me, himself, into the company of 3 or 4 gentleman-like dogs under the Duke's table. If he'd not been there, bless the mark, a pissing while, but all the chamber smelt him. Out with the dog, said one. What cur is that? Said another. Whip him out, said the third. Hang him up, said the Duke. I, having been acquainted with the smell before, knew it was crab, and goes me to the fellow that whips the dogs. Friend, quoth I, you mean to whip the dog? Ay, marry do I, quoth he. Sir, you do him no more wrong, quoth I. 'Twas I did the thing you wot of. He makes me no more ado, but whips me out of the chamber. How many masters would do this for their servant? Nay, I'll be sworn, I have sat in the stocks or puddings he hath stolen, otherwise he had been executed. I have stood on the pillory for geese he hath killed, otherwise he had suffered for it. You thinks not of this now. Nay, I remember the trick you served me when I took my leave of Madame Sylvia. Did I not bid thee so mark me and do as I do? When didst thou see me heave up my leg and make water against a gentlewoman's farthingale? Didst thou ever see me do such a trick?
Sebastian is thy name? I like thee well, and will employ thee in some service presently.
In what you please. I'll do what I can.
I hope thou wilt. How now, you whoreson peasant? Where have you been these 2 days loitering?
Sir, I carried Mistress Sylvia, the dog you bade me.
And what says she to my little jewel?
She says your dog was a cur, and tells you cur's thanks is good enough for such a present.
But she received my dog.
No, indeed, she did not. Here, I have brought him back again.
What? Didst thou offer her this? From me?
Aye, sir. The other squirrel was stolen from me by the hangman's boys at the marketplace. Then I offered her mine own, which is a dog as big as 10 of yours, therefore the gift the greater.
Go, get thee hence, and find my dog again, or ne'er return again into my sight. Away, I say, stayest thou to vex me here? Slave that still an end turns me to shame. Sebastian, I have entertained thee partly that I have need of such a youth that can with some discretion do my business, for 'tis no trusting to yon foolish lout. Go presently, and take this ring with thee. Deliver it to Madam Sylvia. She loved me well, delivered it to me.
It seems you loved not her, to part with her token. She is dead, belike?
Not so, I think she lives.
Alas!
Why dost thou cry, alas?
I cannot choose but pity her.
Wherefore shouldst thou pity her?
Because, methinks, she loves you as well as you do love your lady Sylvia. She dreams on he that has forgot her love. You dote on she that cares not for your love. 'Tis pity love should be so contrary, and thinking on it makes me cry, alas.
Well, give her that ring, and therewithal this letter. That's her chamber. Tell my lady I claim the promise for her heavenly picture. Your message done, hie home into my chamber, where thou shalt find me sad and solitary.
How many women would do such a message? Alas, poor Proteus, thou hast entertained a fox to be the shepherd of thy lambs. Alas, poor fool, why do I pity he that with his very heart despiseth me? Because he loves her, he despiseth me. Because I love him, I must pity him. This ring I gave him when he parted from me to bind him remember my goodwill. And now am I, unhappy messenger, to plead for that which I would not obtain, to carry that which I would have refused, to praise his faith, which I would have dispraised. I am my master's true, confirmed love, but cannot be true servant to my master, lest I prove false traitor to myself. Yet will I woo for him, but yet so coldly, as heaven it knows I would not have him speed. Gentlewoman, good day. I pray you be my mean, and tell me where I may speak with Madam Sylvia.
What would you with her if that I be she?
If you be she, I would entreat your patience to hear the message I am sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus.
Oh, he sends you for a picture.
Aye, madam.
Go, give your master this. Tell him for me, one Julia that his changing thoughts forget would better fit his chamber than this shadow.
Madam, please you, peruse this letter.
Not look upon your master's lines, for I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of newfound oaths, which you will break as easily as you do tear this paper.
Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring.
The more shame for him that he sends it me, for I have heard him say 1,000 times, his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger hath profound the ring, mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
What sayest thou?
I thank you that you do tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much.
Dost thou know her?
Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest I've wept 100 times.
Is she not passing fair?
She hath been fairer, madam, ere now. And she did think my master loved her well. She was as fair as you.
How tall was she?
About my height. For at Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youths got me to play the woman's part, and I was trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served fit, as by all men's judgment, as though the garment had been made for me. Therefore I know she is about my height.
She is beholding to thee, gentle youth. Alas, poor lady, desolate and left. I weep myself to think upon thy words. Farewell.
Alas, how love does trifle with itself! Here is her picture. Let me see. Methinks, if I had such attire, This face of mine were full as lovely as this of hers. And yet, the hater does flatter her a little. Unless I do flatter with myself too much. What is it that he respects in her, but I can make respective in myself if this fond love were not a blinded god? Come, shadow, come and take this shadow up, for 'tis thy rival. Oh, thou senseless form, thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, and adored. And were there sense in his idolatry, my substance will be statue in thy stead. I'll use thee kindly for thy mistress's sake, who used me so. Or else, by Jove, I vow, I should have scratched your unseeing eyes out to make my master out of love with thee.
The sun begins to gild the western sky, and now it is about the very hour that Madame Sylvia at Friar Patrick's cell should meet me. She will not fail, for lovers break not hours, unless it be to come before their time. So much they spur their expedition. See where she comes! Lady, a happy evening!
Amen, amen. Go on, good Eglamour, out at the postern by the abbey wall. I fear I am attended by some spies.
Fear not. The forest is not 3 leagues off. If we recover that, we are sure enough.
Sir Proteus, what says Sylvia to my suit?
Oh, sir, I find her milder than she was, and yet she takes exceptions at your person.
What? Is my leg too long?
No, that is too little.
I'll wear a boot to make us somewhat rounder.
That love will not be spurred to what it loathes.
What says she to my face?
He says it is a fair one.
How likes you my discourse?
Ill when you talk of war.
But well when I discourse of love and peace.
But better indeed when you hold your peace.
What says she to my valor?
No, sir, she makes no doubt of that.
She need not when she knows it cowardice.
What says she to my birth?
That you are well derived.
Aye, from a gentleman to a fool.
Considers she my possessions?
Why, and pities them.
Wherefore?
Such an ass should owe them.
They are out by lease.
I have more questions.
Here comes the Duke.
How now, Sir Proteus? How now, Thurio? Which of you saw Eglamour of late?
Not I.
Nor I.
Saw you my daughter?
Neither.
Why, then she's fled unto that peasant Valentine, and Eglamour's in her company. 'Tis true, for Friar Lawrence met them both as he and Penance wandered through the forest. Him he knew well and guessed that it was she, but being masked, he was not sure of it. Besides, she did intend confession to Patrick's cell this even, and there she was not. These likelihoods confirm her flight from hence. Therefore, stand not to discourse, but mount you presently and meet with me upon the rising of the mountain foot that leads toward Mantua, whither they are fled. Dispatch, sweet gentlemen, and follow me.
This it is to be a peevish girl that flies her fortune when it follows her. All after more to be avenged on Eglamour than for the love of reckless Sylvia.
And I will follow more for Sylvia's love than hate of Eglamour that goes with her.
And I will follow. Cross that love, than hate for Sylvia who's gone for love.
Come, come. We must bring you to our captain.
1,000 more mischances than this one have learned me how to brook this patiently.
Come, bring her away.
Where is the gentleman that was with her?
Being nimble-footed, he hath outrun us, but Moses and Valerius follow him. Go with her to the west end of the woods. There is our captain. We will follow that is fled. The thicket is beset. He cannot escape.
Come, come. I must bring you to our captain's cave. Fear not, for he bears an honorable mind, and will not use a woman lawlessly.
Oh, Valentine, I endure this is for thee.
How you stop free to habit in a man. This shadowy desert, unfrequented woods, a better brook than flourishing peopled towns. Here I can sit alone, unseen of any, and to the nightingale's complaining notes tune my distresses and record my woes. O thou that dost inhabit in my breast, leave not the mansion so long tenantless, lest growing ruinous the building fall and leave no memory of what it was. Repair me with thy presence, Sylvia, thou gentle nymph. Cherish thy forlorn swain.
You got him. Let's go.
After no.
How long on start? These are my mates that make their wills their law, have some unhappy passenger in chase. They love me well, yet I have much to do to keep them from uncivil outrages. Withdraw thee, Valentine. Who's this comes here?
Madam, this service I have done for you, though you respect not aught your servant doth, to hazard life and rescue you from him that would have forced your honor and your love. Vouchsafe me for my meed but one fair look. A smaller boon than this I cannot beg, and less than this I am sure you cannot give.
How like a dream this is I see and hear. Love, lend me patience to forbear a while.
How miserable, unhappy that I am.
Unhappy were you, madam, ere I came, but by my coming I have made you happy.
By thy approach thou makest me most unhappy. Had I been seized by a hungry lion, I would have been breakfast to the beast, rather than have false Proteus rescue me. For whose dear sake thou didst rend thy faith unto 1,000 oaths, and all those oaths descended into perjury to love me. Thou hast no faith left, unless thou dost two, and that's far worse than none. Better have none than plural faith, which is too much by one. Thou counterfeit to thy true friend.
In love, who respects friend?
Oh, all men but Proteus.
Nay, if the gentle spirit of moving words can no way change you to a milder form, I'll woo you like a soldier at arm's end, and love you against the nature of love.
Ah! Ruffian! Let go that rude, uncivil touch, thou friend of an ill fashion.
Valentine?
Thou common friend, that's without faith or love, for such is a friend now. Oh, treacherous man, thou hast beguiled mine hope, not but mine eye could have persuaded me. Now I dare not say I have one friend alive, thou wouldst disprove me. Who should be trusted when one's right hand is perjured to the bosom? Proteus, I'm sorry I must never trust thee more, but count the world a stranger for thy sake. The private wound is deepest, O time most accursed, amongst all the foes that a friend should be the worst.
My shame and guilt confounds me. Forgive me, Valentine. If hearty sorrow be a sufficient ransom for offense, I tender it here. I do as truly suffer as e'er I did commit.
But I am paid, and once again I do receive the honest, who by repentance is not satisfied is nor of heaven nor earth, for these are pleased. By penitence the Eternal's wrath appeased. And that my love may appear plain and free, all that was mine in Sylvia I give thee.
What?
Happy.
Why, boy? Why, wag? How now? What's the matter?
Good sir, my master charged me deliver a ring to Madam Sylvia, which, out of my neglect, was never done.
Where's that ring, boy?
Here 'tis. This is it.
How? Let me see. Why, this is the ring I gave to Julia.
Oh, cry you mercy, sir, I have mistook. This is the ring you sent to Madam Sylvia.
But how camest thou by this ring? At my depart I gave the son to Julia.
And Julia herself did give it me. And Julia herself hath brought it here.
How? Julia?
Behold, she that hath given aim to all your oaths and entertained them deeply in her heart. Oh, Proteus, let this habit make thee blush, that I have took upon me such immodest raiment, if shame live in a disguise of love. It is the lesser blot modesty finds, women to change their shapes than men their minds.
Then men their minds, 'tis true. Oh, heaven were a man, but constant he were perfect. That one error fills him with faults, makes him run through all the sins. Inconstancy falls off ere it begins. What is in Sylvia's face but I may spy? More fresh in Julia's with a constant eye.
Come, my hand from either. Let me be blessed to make this happy close. Were 'twere pity two such friends should be long foes.
Bear witness, heaven, I have my wish forever.
I mine.
Surprise!
Forbear!
Fine.
Forbear, I say! It is my lord the Toot. Grace is welcome to a man disgraced. Banished Valentine.
Sir Valentine?
Yonder is Sylvia, and Sylvia's mine.
Thurio, give back, or else embrace thy death. Do not come within the measure of my wrath. Do not name Sylvia thine. If once again Verona shall not hold thee. Here she stands. Take but possession of her with a touch. I dare thee but to breathe upon my love.
Sir Valentine, I care not for her. I hold him but a fool that would endanger his body for a girl that loves him not. I claim her not, and therefore she is thine.
The more degenerate and base art thou to make such means for her as thou hast done, and leave her on such slight conditions. Now, by the honor of mine ancestry, I do applaud thy spirit, Valentine, and think thee worthy of an empress's love. Know then, I here forget all former griefs, cancel all grudge, repeal thee home again, plead a new state in thy unrivaled merit, to which I thus subscribe. Sir Valentine, thou art a gentleman, and well derived. Take thou thy Sylvia, for thou hast deserved her.
I thank your grace. The gift hath made me happy. I now beseech you, for your daughter's sake, to grant one boon that I shall ask of you.
I grant it for thine own, whatever it be.
These banished men that I have kept with all are men endued with worthy qualities. Forgive them what they have committed here, and let them be recalled from their exile. For they are reformed, civil, full of good, and fit for great employment, worthy lord.
Thou hast prevailed. I pardon them and thee. Dispose of them as thou knowest their deserts. Now come, let us go. We will include all jars with triumph, mirth, and rare solemnity.
And as we walk along, I dare be bold with our discourse to make your grace smile. What think you of this page, my lord?
I think the boy hath grace in him, he blushes.
I warrant you, more grace than boy.
What mean you by that saying?
Please you, I'll tell you as we pass along, that you may wonder at what hath fortunate. Come, Proteus, 'tis your penance but to hear the story of your love's discovered. That done, our day of marriage shall be yours. One feast, one house, one mutual happiness.
Hooray! Let's go!
She was a young rascal and she was a great lover, and she had all the romance she could ever desire. She was known to pass from one to another until she met this ass who set her soul on fire.
He was right charming and he was right witty, and he dressed like a man down to the soles of his shoes. Still there was a roundel in his eyes and a ditty that danced on his lips when she caught him amused.
She said, way, oh, hey, oh, lately you have torn my heart away, oh, hey, oh, what more can I say? Way, oh, hey, oh, lately you have torn my heart away, oh, hey, what more can I say? Young love is fickle and young hearts are changing, the course of true loving did never run smooth. Caught in a pickle, our tides rearranging, we learn lovers just like we'd something to do. At the door, take a chance, that's what lovers are for. It's not peacetime or war, it's a great negotiation.